There's some very innovative educational opportunities for folks these days at Metropolitan Community College. One of them is the MCC Business Leaders Speaker Series here at the North Express location in the Highlander Accelerator Building, and also at MCC's DoSpace location. This is a unique multi-series event that allows anyone the opportunity to connect with top-level leaders, folks who are moving Omaha forward. The speakers share inspiring stories about their journeys, challenges, and what's next for them and maybe for you. I'm Kent Pavelka, your host, and my guests are Daphne Cook, MCC North Express Manager, and Nathan Hankinson, Continuing Education and Special Projects Associate at MCC. And it's all straight ahead on MCC TV. We are back and about to talk about the Speakers Series, but first take maybe a visual tour a little bit of this wonderful new facility, Daphne. We're on the third floor of the North Express and the old Highlander neighborhood, I guess we could say.
Yes.
And tell us about this building. We're on the third floor. There's some other UNO and Creighton are here too.
Well, we're on the third floor and we are a part of Purpose-Built Community. And so the first floor is Hardy Coffee in Creighton. They're some of our community partners. The second floor is the offices of 75 North, and the third floor is our MCC North Express building, which is MCC's newest educational facility.
Yeah, and it's just down the road from the fort.
It's just down the road from the college,
Mm-hmm.
and what's unique about it is it's right in the middle of a neighborhood.
Right. And what's the idea behind this enterprise?
Well, the idea behind it is through robust collaboration to really bring unique and innovative educational opportunities to the neighborhood. And so really, it's a place where you can stop by and see if there's something that interests you, and if there is, you can take a deeper dive, maybe through a non-credit class or maybe even through a credit class.
And potentially have enough interest as a result that you may end up at the fort perhaps taking classes, credit classes.
That's absolutely correct. You may, just because of the wide breadth of classes that we offer. We fall under continuing education, and as a part of continuing education, our mission is lifelong learning from age 3 to senior citizen. So we have programming for kids, we have programming for adults, we have programming for seniors. We have programming for people who are just starting their educational journey, and then we have programming for people who are just looking for that opportunity to spark their passion.
So let's take a look around here. These are wonderful new digs. You've been open since January. This is the biggest open space we're looking at right now. What's this area used for?
Well, this is what we call our active learning area, and it's really designed to be adaptable. So up until a couple of months ago, we had an exhibit here from Omaha Children's Museum, and so we could move the furniture around. Everything in this room is very mobile, depending on what we want to utilize it for.
Mm-hmm.
And on the walls, you'll see we were very intent with the wording. So there's empower your education and empower your curiosity, because this is really a space for you to explore new things.
Yeah, when you learn, teach, when you give, Maya Angelou.
Absolutely.
Yeah, empower your curiosity, and this one, empower your education. Very nice. So as we walk down the hall this way, explain what we're looking at, and then we come up into the area where you see when you come up off the elevators.
So we have computers that are for student use. So any MCC student can come and utilize the computers here. When you come off the elevator, there's signage that says empower your future. And we're very intentional with that because this is a place where you can take those first steps to empowering your future and to changing your future. We have 4 classrooms here. We also have a conference room. We have a computer lab. So there's a variety of different ways to learn.
Yeah. And the classrooms are different sizes, we can see here.
Right, the classrooms are different sizes. Our largest classroom seats 24, and then our smallest classroom seats 15, and they're used in a variety of ways.
Such as?
We have adult education classes. And then we have classes through different community organizations, such as the Omaha Chamber. And then we just have our normal non-credit programming. So we have beekeeping classes, we have business classes, culinary classes, horticulture classes. So really it runs the gamut.
Yeah, and it just so happens we're between quarters, so
Yes.
we've got to look at the facilities without folks in it at the present time.
Right.
So what would be the best way for folks watching today to investigate what the opportunities are here?
We are always happy to have people stop by, and we're happy to provide them a tour and give background information and context for what MCC is doing here in the space. But as far as programming goes and looking for those opportunities to try something new or to make a career change, our website, mccneb.edu, is a great place to start.
It's a beautiful building, isn't it?
It is a beautiful building, and I think that a lot of the feedback that I've gotten is it's very inspiring and it's very cheery, it's very inviting.
And this is intended to be used by folks in the neighborhood
Right.
to a great extent, but not exclusively, right?
Right. So our main focus is education, and we work through community partners to bring that relevant, innovative educational opportunities here. So a lot of what we do is education, but we do offer different programming aside from that, but our main focus is education.
Well, thanks for the look around. I think it's, I'm impressed. I mean, it's really striking from the outside and even more so on the inside here on the third floor. Let's bring Nathan in and talk about the Business Leader Speaker Series, because that's what we are here to do primarily, but we wanted to give you a little bit of a look at the building here and the facilities. Nathan, welcome.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me, Kent.
Let's talk a little bit about this series and what it's about. This is part of the adult or for continuing education.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's taking place both here and at the Do Space where you're located, right?
Absolutely, Kent. And I think what we really strived is it's going to be here at MCC Highlander at the Do Space, and then also a culmination event at the Swanson Center on Fort Omaha campus.
Right.
The whole series itself consists of 7 speakers. There'll be 6 lunches, and then that culmination dinner on November 1st. And I think the biggest thing with this series is we're trying to capture local leaders in Omaha and showcase, whether they're a for-profit business or a nonprofit organization, that they have these unique stories of success where they really rise to the ranks with a unique history, but that local thread of it always relating back to Omaha. I think that in Omaha, I mean, we have the highest per capita of millionaires, I think, in the nation, and I think sometimes we take for granted that we can have excellent opportunities in entrepreneurship and business. And so I really think that this series is going to highlight that. And kicking it off here at the MCC North Express will be Chris Hill, and I think Daphne could really shed some light on that.
Yeah, Christine Hill of AOI. I know Christine.
Oh, you
yeah,
know
I
her.
sure do. And these are in September, and
Yeah.
the last one, first part of October, correct?
It'll be November, first part of November.
November,
for
so
the-
September, October, and early November. Okay.
Absolutely.
So the AOI way.
The AOI way, we invited her because she has such an interesting story. Having started as a receptionist at the company, she was a part-time MCC student at the time, and she wasn't sure exactly what she wanted to do, but she got some classes, she got some training, she got her education, and now she's president of the company.
Wow.
So that is someone who has a story to tell.
Yes. AOI, for people that don't know,
Is a construction company.
yeah.
They do construction and furniture.
So she'll be basically telling her story, correct?
Absolutely.
Right, and the unique thing about the business series is it allows the public access to these very innovative leaders and to ask their own questions that they have of them.
Yeah. So if you're interested in their particular area of expertise, there's value there, or just to pick the brain of somebody who's been successful.
Right,
Yeah.
or just to be inspired. I think that
Yeah.
when you are around people like these, you get little nuggets of inspiration.
That's on September 13th.
Yes.
And then also here on the 20th, Jason Gilbreth from Reclaimed Life
Yes.
is his topic.
Reclaimed Life is the topic. He's from Reclaimed Enterprises, and what they do is they take salvaged wood And so they take these pieces of wood and make beautiful wood pieces from them. So it could be a salvaged tree, it could be an old gym floor, a boxcar. And what's unique was he was a corporate guy. He was in finance, he was in corporate America, but he left that to start his own business.
How old is it? I mean, long has he been doing it?
Just a few years.
Just a few years, yeah. So again, Nathan, some of these here at
Right.
North Express, some at the Do Space. How did you decide which would be where?
Well, I mean, I think that we wanted to provide the community with accessibility. So having it at multiple different locations, and ultimately the Do Space had a robust series of partnerships, both business and nonprofit. And so as the program planner over at the Do Space, I really wanted to capture some unique tech-related businesses. We really pride ourselves on STEM or STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And throwing that art in there is important to me. But I think that one of my speakers, co-speakers, Matt Stewart and Paul Eide from Little Guy Design, they're a website and design agency, but they don't have the ego of the big firms, is what they like to pride themselves on. And they enhance their business by their blog that they run, where they go to the NFL draft, they go to the NBA playoffs. I mean, they interview larger-than-life personalities to help aid in their business and cross-promotional pieces. They use these famous athletes. I mean, Stephen Curry, J.J. Watt, you name it, they have it in terms of business partnerships with them. So we really want to identify that you can have 2 degrees separation from these athletes, and it's such a human story to be able to talk about, and they can ask questions. So I want my audience, especially with that particular event, to feel like, wow, I could do the same thing even based out of Omaha. Because I think a lot of times people think you might have to move.
Right.
So I think that's
not
really
exciting.
Not in this day and age. Yeah, not in this day and age, exactly. So I'm really excited about highlighting that and letting them, the audience, have that Q&A session.
So that's on the 11th of October, I believe, right?
Correct.
Matt Stewart and Paul.
Correct.
How do you pronounce his last name?
Matt Stewart and Paul Eide.
Eide. Nothing little about Little Guy Design, the title of that. And we skipped past the event on September 27th. Listen closely to Whispering Roots. Greg Fripp.
Right, so on our site here, in the Accelerator building, we have Whispering Roots, which is a nonprofit, and it's a state-of-the-art aquaponics center. So Greg Fripp, he has a story to tell. He was another guy who was a corporate guy, but he had a passion for teaching the youth about healthy eating and growing. So he started in the Omaha Public Schools, and that led to forming this nonprofit and building the greenhouse that's currently being built. And then at the bottom of the greenhouse, they're going to have fish farming. They're going to farm tilapia and shrimp, and they have some innovative techniques. He uses these techniques in Madagascar and in Haiti and even in rural Nebraska. And so he has a story to tell.
Very cool. There was some of that going on at the fort not long ago.
Right,
yeah.
right. And he's worked with MCC as well, too.
Yeah. So now let's talk about when these events are, time of day and how long they last, etc.
Well, most of the events happen during the day, during lunchtime from 12 to 1.
1 hour,
So,
okay.
Yeah, so 1 hour. So it's just a really great opportunity to get in, have some lunch, professional development or personal development, and then the final event culminates with the dinner, as Nathan was explaining.
Right, which we'll get to after we talk about the rest of the events. So it's noon to 1, and there is a entry fee, right? I mean, it's a charge.
Yes. There is a charge for lunch because all of the lunches will be catered, and they will be catered by Omaha businesses.
So how much is it?
So it'll be $19 for lunch, and that includes the price of lunch. And what we really want to try to do is to try to find local businesses within Omaha that would be able to cater and have that name recognition. So one, that they'd have these unique experiences from the speaker, and then unique food as well.
Yeah.
So I think having both of those, we can hopefully get a lot of aspiring business professionals or current.
Yeah.
So.
So we're pitching that too, looking for caterers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's just around the corner,
Yes,
you know,
it
is. What about the event on October 18th, Othello Meadows, redefining a community? Is that here?
That is here. So Othello Meadows is the person who received all of the funding to create this entire project. 75 North is the quarterback organization.
Yes.
So it's the organization that all of this is centered around. So he received $50 million to build this, and is in the process of moving to the next phase, and so working on funding for that. So I think
What's the next phase?
the next phase is they're going to do some housing. So right now there are apartment buildings that are for lease, but the next phase is going to include building houses that can be purchased, and also senior living.
On this former Highlander area.
Right,
That,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's in the process of writing a grant for $40 million to do that.
Wow.
So it takes a special type of personality to be able to raise that type of funding.
No
And that
kidding.
is really transforming a community.
Yeah, you have to drive by here to appreciate it. I mean, and if you do, stop in and take a look inside as well. But it is very impressive, this area. I mean, even as much as there could be done in the future. I mean, just to
Right.
date.
It's very impressive, and even as I'm driving, for example, if I drive down 30th Street, driving north, you crest over the hill and it's majestic.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And it seemed like the construction was forever, but now it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
So he'll be the speaker here on October 18th, Redefining a Community. And then, are we heading back to Do Space?
We
I think
are,
we are
yeah.
on the 25th of October. It pays to PayPal.
Yeah. So Todd Studnicka, he's going to be our speaker. He's one of the senior management representatives at PayPal. And he has a really interesting story. We've had partnerships with him with PayPal events at the Do Space in the past. And he's a charismatic speaker. He's really built himself up through that company as well. And we really wanted to capture a senior level representative from a big business here in Omaha, because we have Omaha Steaks, we have PayPal, and we wanted to strike that balance between small business, nonprofits, and big business. So with him, I just find his story so interesting. When he was starting up through PayPal, he was having business meetings with Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. So, I mean, you think about that, and those are those human moments that I think we really got in this series that we're going to have, where you get those unique perspectives that people don't get from Googling something. So
Yeah.
I think that'll be really interesting, and he's going to share his insights on working with them and how he worked up through the company.
Including him and everybody else on the who are scheduled to participate. These people are impressive, and I don't know that the community understands, appreciates that.
Absolutely.
What the things that they have done. So what else is involved in his story?
So I think his biggest thing is he's trying to, at this point, he's a senior management representative, and he's in charge of the global clientele. So he's he's developing partnerships all across the world. I mean, even when I was developing my section of this series with him, he was in a different country trying to develop partnerships with other countries. He was in Europe, he was in China, he was always over abroad, and so I really want him to talk about the business side of things in a global perspective instead of domestic, and I think that'll be a unique niche that we can really bring into the series.
Sure will. So where in the Do Space facility are these?
So great question. So we'll have it in 219, which is basically our main hall area, second floor, 72nd and Dodge. And if you're familiar with the Hubbard Sustainability Series, it'll be a very similar format to that. We'll have plenty of seating, lunches provided in the back of the main hall, and then the speaker will be right front and center, just like we set up our Hubbard Sustainability. So it'll be a nice spread, and we'll have visual elements. It'll be really cool. And what I really like about it is this series is connecting to other things. So business opportunities with Todd, and he can talk about that. And we're going to have all our business opportunities out on display so that they can see other classes they could take that directly pertain. And I think that's what I really try to pride myself on, is connecting all this together.
You bet. Daphne, and where will the events here at North Express be held? In this area here, or?
We have an event hall called the Venue, and so we're going to be holding the events there, which is right on this in this project as well.
Very good, but not on the third floor.
No,
Yeah,
not on the third floor.
right, okay.
Just across the parking lot.
Across the parking lot, all right. And then as we talked about, at the Fort, the Culinary Arts Building, on November 1st, everything comes to a conclusion. Locally grown, nationally known, Omaha Steaks and Todd Simon.
Right, absolutely.
That'll be a great event.
Well, we thought that would be just a great person to have, because there's something to have lasted for 5 generations. So what does
Yes.
it take to have lasted for 5 generations? And one of the things that Nathan and I talked about is that name recognition with Omaha Steaks. So they're in popular culture all
Oh,
over.
oh,
where
yeah.
Everyone knows. It doesn't matter what city you go to overseas, people know Omaha steaks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's an unbelievable story.
Absolutely.
It's lasted a long time, as you
Yes.
said. So do you know what he's going to talk about, or just the history of the...
I don't know exactly, but what we do know is that he's an amazing speaker, and it's going to be good.
And I think when we met with his team over at Omaha Steaks, they talked about that rich history on how they got that competitive edge very early on. Stuff that you might not be able to find out, and how they've really separated themselves, their high quality process and procedure on what separates them from other companies. And so I think that'll be really rich in terms of getting that history, and then combining the fact that we're going to have Omaha Steaks.
I was going to say, what's on the menu?
So we're going to have their signature filet at the event as well. So we're really excited about that. And then to add to that even more, we're going to have them. We're going to have probably 8 to a table for this event, and you're going to be in teams. Before Todd gets up there and speaks, we're going to have an icebreaker where you learn the history of Omaha Steaks through a quiz, and then the winner gets a nice gift basket to Omaha Steaks, or from Omaha Steaks. So I'm really excited about that. So we can generate all those social networking opportunities. People can get talking. We're hopeful that our previous speakers up to that point will be there, so they can get to know each other and meet each other, and then just create this really rich environment.
So what's the process here for people to get involved and registered?
They can go right online to our website at mccnab.edu. There is a block right on our first page that says non-credit, and that is the way to register for classes, and it also has additional information about each of the speakers.
Very good. And I'm assuming there are plenty of opportunities. You're not sold out.
Right, there are plenty of opportunities. I mean, see every speaker if you like.
That's what I was going to get at. Yes,
Yeah.
you can cherry
All of them
pick
are
or
good.
take them all.
You can cherry pick, but all of them are really good, so I would encourage anyone who's interested to maybe see all of them. And I did want to mention on our last event with Todd Simons that our culinary department is preparing the food.
Well, of
So
course.
It's going to be
I bet
amazing.
they'll
be
feel a
amazing.
lot of pressure on don't mess up those steaks that night,
I
right?
think we're in good hands. I think we are.
Yeah, I know you are.
But
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Just to add to Daphne's point, I think with taking all the classes, we've even created a bundle at a reduced rate. So if you want to
Good.
take the full train ride, we certainly encourage you to do so.
I was going to say, there might be some employers out there who have certain types of employees that would be good for
Oh,
all of
absolutely.
them to
Right.
come, for them to come to all these.
And their backgrounds are so rich that it would be good, this would be a good opportunity, whether it's nonprofit or entrepreneurial or just business startup. The wide variety of speakers would be good for anyone.
What do you think the net result or effect is going to be on someone, say, that did take them all in? I mean, are you going to be motivated or impressed or all of the above? Or,
Well, I tell you, as we were working with the speakers, it was just motivating, just talking with the speakers and talking about
getting it organized?
getting it organized, and we would, oh my gosh, it was so amazing hearing, this person's story or hearing how you get from A to B. It's really easy to look at the end result
Yes.
and think, oh, well, how did this person get here? But seeing that it's something that's built over time, it's consistent, it's intentional, and learning what that path looks like is really fascinating.
Isn't it interesting? I talk about this with a lot of people in life. We are, in essence, consumers of product all the time, and we don't think about what it takes to produce products.
Right. Exactly.
Or you sit down and have a hamburger somewhere and put ketchup on your burger, and you don't realize that there have been guys who've dropped dead competing against each other in the ketchup business,
Right.
Yeah.
because of the stress. So, yeah, an opportunity to see behind the curtain.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
that's what we're really striving to communicate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And access to these people.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's worth a lot. I mean, you aren't going to be able to make an appointment with some of these people and sit down and pick their brain. This is the opportunity.
Exactly, and it does go beyond Google and Wikipedia. So this is information. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
This is information you're not going to have access to on Wikipedia.
Those
Well-
inside stories, yep.
Yeah. So just give us a taste of what you were talking about, both of you, in terms of in the process of lining these people up. Some of the things that you driving back to to work afterwards, you guys said, wow, what a story. I mean,
I think for me, one of your speakers that you helped coordinate was Othello Meadows, and how he, I mean, just such a rich history in terms of what he's done, and graduating from Duke Law. I mean, and then having that opportunity, he could have done anything he wanted in the world. I mean, he has that talent, that history and that knowledge, but he decided to come back and reinvest in the community. Mm-hmm. And I think that really relates to MCC's message about doing good for the community here, community engagement. So that one really resonated with me in terms of that's just something I want to strive to be better in my own life. And I think people coming to this event, particularly with Othello, I think will have that feeling of that sense of confidence. One, I can do it here in Omaha, and then two, that inspiration. So
very well put. Mm-hmm. What comes to mind when you think about that?
Well, there was a story, and I think it was Todd, correct, who was traveling abroad with his family, and I think they said he was in Japan. I don't want to misquote, but I think they said that he was in Japan, and they were just talking with people, and they said, "Where are you from?" And he said, "I'm from Omaha." And they said, "Oh, yes, Omaha Steaks." But it was funny, he didn't say, "Well, by the way."
Yeah, well, yes.
But they knew it because of Omaha Steaks.
Wow.
So that's how far the reach is.
Isn't that funny? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Years and years ago, I was in Tokyo, and we were on a tour bus and for a football broadcast, and a coworker of mine, a contemporary in our company from Fresno, California, we're driving down the street in Tokyo, and my partner and I just happened to look out the window, and I said, "Gary, there's John Broski." I mean, that's how small the world is. Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh yeah, Omaha Steaks. Yeah, I'm Omaha Steaks. You'd think that never happened in a million years. So demographic targets, anybody and everybody here.
I think what's unique about it is anybody and everybody. It's anyone who's looking to be inspired, anyone who's looking for a certain path. I think this is for anyone.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, for an MCC student, if you're an aspiring business owner, I think obviously you can get some great content knowledge on how to be successful in Omaha, that local thread again. And then if you want a career change, maybe, like if you're exploring, well, I've been in this job, let me see if I can do a 180. A lot of these people have done that. So I think it really caters to every demographic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what do you hope to do as a result of putting this series on, to make it a permanent event each year, or is this a one-time deal, or what do you think?
We have talked about this event is so exciting that there's opportunity to grow from here. Mm-hmm. And so we're already talking about potentially having another event in the spring. And then even for us, it's just putting the event together. As we mentioned, it's inspiring, and you see common threads among these people who are so successful in these different realms. And so it's a learning experience for us as well.
Yeah. And I'm sure you've got a long list of potential speakers. Mm-hmm. It didn't end with this list here today.
We're really lucky, I believe, in Omaha that we do have such a rich population of people to deal with. It's a rich philanthropic community, and as Nathan mentioned, we have more millionaires per capita than most cities, and so there are a lot of great people to make contact with.
Untold stories.
Absolutely.
A lot of people in this community have done some amazing things in their lives, and this is a great example of being able to introduce them a little bit to some folks. Any other thoughts on the series? You all set to go?
Yeah, I feel like we are set to go.
You should be seeing plenty of marketing and social media coming out soon. So we're excited to promote, and I think what I'm really excited about, along with Daphne, is it connects. These speakers really connect to what we're doing in Con in general. So a lot of these speakers relate to the personal enrichment classes we're offering or the professional development classes. So that's what's really exciting. Is one, I am excited to do this speaker series again, hopefully. But then two, how it relates to what we're doing entirely in Con Ed. So
perfect. Continuing education.
Sorry.
Inside
lingo. Inside lingo.
Yep. Nathan, Daphne, thanks much. Good luck.
Yep.
Sounds really exciting. And there you have it. All you need to know about the business speakers, the business leader speaker series coming up here at North Express. I'm Kent Pavelka for MCC TV.